some time that I haven't reviewed Hokas, but here I am back. There is a pair that made it back on my feet. They are the Hoka Stinson ATR 4. So when did my separation with Hoka started? During Tahoe 200. You know, after 103 miles, my feet were hurting. And you're like, oh, well, sure they were hurting. But you know, I had soaked them in cold water and put all that tiger balm, etc., and it wasn't helping. So I felt like I was running actually with the 3 here, with the Stinson 3. I felt like, you know, I was running on a lot of foam. However, I felt that I couldn't control my feet properly, so I was hitting the ground harder than necessary. I was running on like soft bricks. That was my impression. So what I did, I switched completely different to a pair of Saucony Peregrine, and for 55 miles I actually felt better. That experience taught me that it's important to have both control and cushioning. And that's when my love story with La Sportiva started. And so I started with this Akasha, and the Akasha is a great shoe. I have reviewed it already, so go and check out that review. I actually ran the entire Hurt 100 with this, and I ran my fastest 50k with this, although I have to say it's not a light shoe by any means, but you know, it has traction and is very comfortable. Going back to the Hokas, these 4s, why do I think that this is the shoe that I will actually run Moab 240 with? Yeah, you heard me, 238 actually 0.6 miles plus. So I don't want to do the whole race one pair. I will use the Akasha and I will use this one. Why? I ran with the Stinsons 2, the 3 and the 4s, and there is an evolution here. The evolution of the species actually in this case is positive. It's not always that the case, but in this case it's very positive. And if you own the past generation like me, then you want to know, is it worth spending money on the new generation? The answer is yes. There is definitely a big improvement. Why? Let's start with sole. This is the sole, much better traction. Actually, it doesn't look like there's a lot of difference, but I ran really on a 20 mile with 6,500 elevation change, rough terrain, and I can tell you that this shoe is actually much better than this one. They're almost identical, but you see this traction here, this part in the front and in the back is actually much improved, and the tassels are also higher. So all in all, while here you can see that, you know, all this is already gone, here it will stay longer. So that's one of the most important things. However, I think another big improvement is the upper, and actually the biggest improvement. Why? First of all, it protects you from the dust more. And you know, especially the second generation was terrible. There's this net, everything is getting through. The fine sand is getting in, which after 50 miles you start paying for it. Instead, there is more material, even compared to the 3. And, best of all, the weight changes not a whole lot. The whole weight has changed by 10 grams. And by the way, here's the weight. For the Stinson 2 was 380 grams. For the Stinson 3, 334, so big improvement. And now this is 343. So 343 grams, all of these are for size 11. That's my size for the Hokas. The tongue is also improved. You can see that there is a tongue, which is good because, you know, when you go, especially on rough terrain, you need to tighten the shoe. And when you tighten the shoe, you don't want necessarily the laces to push on your feet. That's what you hate. This may be lighter, but hey, it doesn't matter if then the shoe is not comfortable. But the best part of this is the feet. Look at this, how wide it is in comparison with especially the Stinson 3. Look at this, there's a huge difference. And the difference, you feel it definitely on your feet. That's the reason why this is a great buy. And let's talk about running impression. There is much better traction on terrain. What I feel that is important though is how they feel on your feet, and I feel that they don't feel like bricks. That's the most important thing. And so they're not a light shoe by any means. However, they don't feel like they're heavy. That's another big improvement in terms of the rocker action. I think that helps. But now with this new material on the front and on the back, I think that will help, and actually is helping. I can tell you that from my running impression. So I'll start my Moab 240 with this. At some point probably I'll get tired of them and I will change into the Akasha, and I highly recommend them. So until the next, guys, keep on running, and good luck with your races.